I join you on this solemn day to renew our sacred vow. Never forget. Never forget. We never forget.
A retired pilot sharing his experience from 22 years ago.
It could have been me. It could have been my airplane.
What inspired him to bring a piece of the World Trade Center to Pensacola? The parents of a sailor killed on NAS Pensacola during the 2019 terror attack, speaking out tonight. How they're remembering their son nearly 4 years later.
WEAR News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. A new healthcare campus opening its doors in Pensacola in 12 days. Not everyone is happy about that opening, especially those people who live near the old campus, which no longer will serve their medical needs there. Baptist Healthcare is relocating to a new campus off Brent Lane. Hospital and city officials are still working out a plan for the old facility, and people living near the old campus are waiting to see what's next for them. WEAR's Aubrey Spears has the story.
I spoke with some local residents who live near Baptist Healthcare, and they say they're concerned about the impact this move will have on the local community.
There's a lot to be considered in the process of transforming from East Street to Brent Lane.
Accessibility to healthcare is the biggest concern Wilhelmina Gatson has with Baptist Healthcare relocating to its new campus. She's not alone in her concerns. Carrie Schwanke says she lives only a few minutes away from the current Baptist Healthcare campus. She says she's had medical emergencies in the past, and she fears it will be a challenge to get help if she were to have an emergency again. The new facility is more than 3 miles away from her home.
I just think if ever there was a major emergency, I couldn't drive myself. I'd have to wait for an ambulance, and then that would be no telling how long, and then the ambulance would have to drive there. So it does concern me.
Mayor D.C. Reeves says he shares some of these concerns with local residents. He says the city has been proactive in turning the old campus into a new opportunity, though it will not offer medical assistance.
I really look at the city here as a mediator with a vested interest in what happens after Baptist leaves. And so everything that we can do to lift up the community around the West Moreno area, certainly we're going to do that.
The city and Baptist Healthcare are working to determine the fastest path to demolition of the old campus. Mayor Reeves estimates it could cost between $17 to $20 million. In a statement to WEAR, Baptist Healthcare says it has a vision of bringing attainable housing to the city as part of the redevelopment.
A spokesperson from Community Health Northwest Florida told WEAR News that they are expecting to see an increase in patients at some of their locations near the old Baptist Healthcare campus. Reporting in Escambia County, Aubrey Spears, WEAR News.
A family is searching for answers after their loved one was killed over the weekend. Jarvis Johnson was shot on Emerald Avenue Saturday morning. Escambia Sheriff Chip Simmons says Johnson was shot several times while sitting in a chair outside a home. He says Johnson was shot from close range. Investigators still looking for the killer. The family is asking the person to turn themselves in.
Because justice is going to be served, and we'll like for you guys to do the right thing, but you guys cause a lot of hurt and pain, and everybody really love Jarvis. The community love him. We miss him dearly. We can't make things change.
If you have information, you're asked to contact Crime Stoppers at area 850-433-STOP. Today, the nation remembering the lives lost 22 years after al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airplanes. They crashed them into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. We're taking a live look from the New York skyline. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in those attacks. In addition to those killed on 9/11, many others who worked at New York's Ground Zero, they died from post-9/11 illnesses due to toxic pollutants released during the attacks. That includes 341 New York York City Fire Department firefighters, paramedics, and civilian support staff. In Pensacola, a piece of the rubble from the New York Trade Center, that World Trade Center, that centerpiece of a monument, now at the Veterans Memorial Park. The foundation president who helped bring it here has a memorable 9/11 story of his own. Here's WEAR's Laura Hussey.
This sculpture is a memorial to those lost in the global war on terror. And right there, that's a floor truss from the World Trade Center. Being so close to it brings a flood of memories, as it does for the president of the Veterans Memorial Park Foundation, Paul Entricken.
I'm a retired airline pilot, and I was actually flying that day.
Entricken was the co-pilot on a Delta 727 flight at the same time two hijacked jets were used as weapons, crashing into the towers of the World Trade Center.
It was very surreal to be flying along on a trip and have Center tell us that we were diverting to an airport that we had not planned to go to. And they weren't at liberty to explain to us exactly why we were doing that.
Soon they learned the nature and scale of the attacks. Entricken says the psychological impact on any airline pilot was the same.
It could have been me. It could have been my airplane.
In the aftermath, the global war on terror ignited. Foundation members found themselves mounting bronze plaques in memory of the fallen. The board wanted to do more and teamed up with artist Randy New to create the memorial. To Entricken, it symbolizes the resilience the nation has shown since that day.
How we've recovered, how the city of New York and our nation rebuilt, and we're better than we were before, and it brought us closer together, and it actually had the opposite effect that those that would do us harm intended. So the sacrifice of those thousands of people that lost their lives was not in vain.
Laura Hussey, WEAR News.
In December 2001, a joint resolution of Congress designated September 11th as Patriot Day. In 2009, it was also recognized as a National Day of Service and Remembrance. Navarre Beach Fire Rescue remembered the lives of the firefighters who gave their lives trying to save others. Firefighters and first responders wore their names and faces as they climbed 11 floors 10 times in honor of those lost. Fire Chief Danny Fury has held this climb every year since he became chief in 2018.
On that day, they showed up to work, they had no idea what they was getting into. And they didn't think twice. I don't care what day of the week it is, we're gonna honor those men and women on that day.
Each year, the climb raises money for the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation. It benefits the families of first responders. Fury says they donate between $3,000 to $4,000 each year. Today, we also remember the victims of terrorism from Naval Air Station Pensacola. Ensign Caleb Watson, Airman Muhammad Hatham, and Airman Apprentice Cameron Walters. They were killed at the base in December 2019. WEAR's Yona Gavino spoke to Caleb Watson's family at his home in Milton today.
Right behind me is Caleb's dream home. His parents told me he only lived in it for 2 weeks before he lost his life. Tonight, they're sharing his story and how this house is helping keep their son's memory alive. Ben and Sheila Watson sit with broken hearts, remembering their youngest son, Joshua Caleb Watson. Many knew him as Joshua, but family and friends called him by his middle name, Caleb. He was one of 3 sailors killed in the terrorist attacks at NAS Pensacola. On the morning of December 6, 2019, Saudi aviation student Mohammed Saeed Al-Shamrani opened fire in one of the classroom buildings. Caleb was shot 6 times, but kept getting up to try to warn others and flag down first responders. His family tells me he died a hero. Caleb was destined to live a life of service, something his parents already knew September 11, 2001, when he was just 5 years old.
I remember watching seeing the towers come down, and Caleb was sitting beside me on the couch, and he said, "Dad, why did they do it?" And it had a profound effect on him.
Caleb and his little cousin made this painting in the design of the American flags. Right here is Caleb's handprint. It's something his family can hold on to. We'll have that part of our story tonight at 10. In Milton, Yona Gavino, WEAR News.
First Warning Weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.
Hurricane Lee, still a major hurricane over the Atlantic. We've also got Margot, another hurricane over the Atlantic as well. But nothing going on in the Gulf, and neither of those headed our way. Here's a look at the forecast track for Lee. Winds on it are at 115 miles per hour. And now the cone, as we head into this weekend, Saturday, does include areas of Massachusetts, and we may see a landfall here. It is expected to get weaker once we get into the weekend or over the next several days. Radar showing dry weather around here. We had a couple of isolated showers here and there, but not much. And as we head through this evening, it'll be warm. Overnight lows, though, will fall down into the mid-70s.
Some Baldwin County residents against the proposed landfill and transfer station. Their concerns over that facility. A Niceville grad making his NFL debut over the weekend. The move he made leading to a touchdown.
Download the WEAR News app now. Sponsored by Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services.
Oppose a proposed landfill and transfer station. Baldwin County Solid Waste wants to reopen the Red Hill landfill, which closed in the mid-1990s, and they want to build a transfer station on Red Hill Road extension in Bay Minette. As Andrea Ramey reports, neighbors on that road say they're concerned about the traffic, the truck traffic, the smell, and decreased property values.
They're like, yes, let me sign it.
Danny Collier, Emily Ryan, and Tim Murray didn't know each other several months ago. Now they're united in fighting a proposed landfill at the end of their road and organizing a grassroots opposition campaign.
We just don't need any more traffic. We don't need the smell.
They've gathered hundreds of signatures between paper and online petitions. They're also about to mail out 1,200 notices to their neighbors, encouraging others to speak out against the project. Baldwin County Solid Waste is asking the Baldwin County Commission to reopen the Red Hill landfill for construction and demolition debris and move the transfer station from Nicholsville Road in Bay Minette to a site across from the landfill. In its application, Baldwin County Solid Waste says combined, the Red Hill facility is expected to generate 30 to 45 trucks per day and will not have a major impact on the amount of traffic in the area. The proposed site is less than 3 miles from Baldwin County High School and Bay Minette Middle School. Trucks will have to pass by one of the schools in order to get to the landfill.
45 trucks a day is what they're saying, and there's only one way in here and one way back out, so that's going to be 90 passes.
Probably the most disheartening thing is the way that nobody knew anything about this. Everybody had heard about the C&D landfill only. And nothing about moving that transfer station out here where every garbage truck in this part of the world is going to come right down this 2-lane road.
I hate that they're not in support of it, but I do think long term, ultimately, this is the best thing for Baldwin County.
Baldwin County Solid Waste Director Terry Graham says there's no construction and debris landfill north of I-10, and with the growth Baldwin County is experiencing, another one is needed. Graham also says the current transfer station is not large enough, and that's why they need to build a new one.
We are building a multi-million-dollar recycling facility at Magnolia Landfill. We want to see recycling increase across the region, so building a transfer station that can accommodate both of those commodities is very helpful for us.
Collier, Ryan, and Murray say they understand the need, but want the county to find another location.
My advice is to please get involved because this impacts the entire county.
Andrea Ramey, WEAR News.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
We're pretty clear in the skies as we look here across the northern Gulf Coast. The weather looking pretty decent. Had a few isolated showers, but right now radar showing dry weather around the area. That could change though. Our futurecast says, hey, maybe even tomorrow morning a shower or a thunderstorm will pop up around the area, and then that's going to continue that rain chance right on through the midday hours and into the afternoon. You can see that color showing up on our map here as we check the futurecast. Same thing over the next couple of days. We'll again have a chance for rain there on Wednesday as well. Temperature-wise, we're going to be upper 80s to low 90s. More sunshine, a little hotter, more cloud cover and rain, a little cooler. It just depends on what we end up with tomorrow, but we're going with that rain chance at about 50%. This is Hurricane Lee. I mean, look at this thing is huge over the Atlantic. You can see our hurricane there. Fortunately, though, it has been over the open waters, and that's largely where it will live most of its life here, Hurricane Lee. However, we may see a landfall as we get into the weekend. This is where it's expected to be on Saturday with winds of 75 miles per hour, making it a Category 1 hurricane. Parts of New England are within within the cone of uncertainty. We'll watch, but we're pretty confident in this turn to the north is what we're expecting. It'll be a close call with Bermuda, but it looks like the worst of it will likely miss Bermuda. We've had high pressure that has basically been steering it. So it's been on this southern edge of the high, and now it's going to be on the western edge of the high as it makes that turn toward the north. The model's in pretty good agreement on that. Also out there, we've got Margot and then a couple of other little areas. Really not much for us to worry about. Low and medium formation chances on those other spots over the Atlantic Basin. That's Cotton Bayou right there as we check the view from the Island House Hotel cam out of Orange Beach, Alabama. This is a view of the Gulf there from Portofino, and we've got generally calm conditions, and that's expected to continue over the next several days. So a low risk of rip currents is what we're looking at here. Right on toward the end of the week, Seatow Marine forecast for tomorrow has our seas only running at about a foot. We've got another view from the Hardee's beach cam. Let's check that out. Hilton at Pensacola Beach is where we keep the camera, and there's our scene. Everything does look pretty calm down there. A live view. Sun headed down toward sunset there. So ahead, our rain chance is going to run at about 50% here for the next couple of days. Highs upper 80s, low 90s for the area. And then later this week, every day a chance for rain. The weekend should be mostly sunny. We've got each Saturday and Sunday each about a 30% chance for a shower or thunderstorm to pop up.
Download the WEAR First Warning Weather app now. Sponsored by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Major insurance companies use a third-party administrator to handle their claims, and they do that to save on claims costs. It's a complicated system at times for the insured, and of course, we know that if they just call us, we can handle that for them and make it a lot simpler for them to get their claim taken care of. We take over the claims processing portion of it so they don't have to deal with it. We just try to simplify the process for our customers. Call Lloyd's Glass and let us handle your insurance claim for you.
Big splash in its NFL debut last night with the Dallas Cowboys. The New York Giants, they lined up for a field goal. This was early in the first quarter after the opening drive stalled. That's when Juan Thomas burst through the line, blocked the Giants' field goal attempt. The Cowboys got the ball and returned it 58 yards for a touchdown. After the game, Thomas told reporters the last time he blocked a kick was in high school. ABC kicks off Monday Night Football tonight. All eyes going to be on the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He's making his highly anticipated debut with the New York Jets. They play the Buffalo Bills at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Kickoff 7 o'clock right here on WEAR. A chance to become a millionaire, the growing Powerball jackpot.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Heavy rain triggered flash flooding near Providence, Rhode Island. Some streets turned into rivers, leaving many cars submerged. That's not a snow-covered mountain you see on the right. It's a very low-altitude shelf cloud spotted near Florence, South Carolina. And did you know fog bows, like this one in North Carolina, have weak colors because the water droplets inside fog are so small?
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
$2 million to be exact. That's the amount in the Powerball jackpot this evening. That's a cash payout of $252.4 million. This is the third largest Powerball jackpot of the year. That drawing tonight, we'll have the lucky numbers for you at WEAR News at 10. And you can prepare to laugh a little bit or a whole lot for that matter at Pensacola Little Theater. They're presenting Always a Bridesmaid. Production begins this Friday. It's about 4 women who've been lifelong friends since middle school. They promise to be at each other's weddings, and that is weddings with an S. And cast member Valerie Russenberger, she tells us about those friendships and the life unpredictable twists.
There's some fun costumes, a lot of drama where the friendships. Anybody who's been friends that long, as you know, it's very much a sisterhood. So sometimes you argue, and sometimes and then you get to make up, and it's really lovely. But it's about the friendship between the 4 women.
And you can catch Always a Bridesmaid starting this Friday, Pensacola Little Theater, 7:30 performance, and they go through September 24th. We've got all the times and every bit of information on the tickets on our website for you. A Pensacola Music Festival benefits communities hit by Hurricane Idalia. Night Moves, that's the fest that's coming up. It's bringing Manchester Orchestra for the Foo Festival. The band's bass player, Andy Prince, is from Pensacola. He remembers the impact of Hurricane Ivan in 2004. A portion of every ticket sold will benefit the harvest of the Big Bend. The concert November 4th, Maritime Park Amphitheater. Tickets available through Night Moves Fest website.
Chime in. Sponsored by Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa.
Celebrating September birthdays, you can share your pictures and videos. Go to WEAR TV. That's what you text to 95577. Or you can look for the Chime In feature. You will find that on our website.
Well, here's a look ahead. We've got a chance for some scattered thunderstorms over the next couple of days. Might even see something appear during the morning hours. We'll look for that. A rain chance about 50% here. So scattered thunderstorms, highs will be upper 80s to low 90s next few days. Jumping ahead to the weekend, mostly sunny skies and a shower or thunderstorm will be possible basically every day as we look through the next 7. So maybe something will pop up then too.
Well, we certainly thank you for joining us, and we do hope to see you again tonight at 10.